Welcome to episode 512 of the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. And I'm your host, Denise Oyston. And today we're starting a series for you over the next probably 8 to 10 weeks. And it aligns with the last podcast that we did around marketing tasks for summer. And what I want to do over the next few weeks, and Sharon and I are going to record these individually and together, is to go through some of the key marketing channels that you guys have at the moment and how they work in the recruitment sector. So I'm going to take you through each of the main marketing channels one at a time. We're starting with Insta. That's what the trendy hip people say. Instagram. We're starting with Instagram today, and then I'm going to go through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, email, paid ads, and all of the things. And I'm going to give you an honest picture on each one. I'm going to share all the detail about them, from the type of people that hang out on those platforms, how they work in a B2B setting. Because here's why. One of the questions we get asked more than many others is, should I be on this platform? Should I be on that platform? Is this a waste of time? Where do I put my effort? And they're all fair questions because we're all small business owners, and that's the market that we work with, and we've only so much time. And there are more channels than ever. And let's be honest, none of us have the time to be on all of them if it's not going to do anything for us. So in each episode, I'll give you the real data, who's using it, whether it works for the classic profile that hangs out on that particular platform, whether it works for B2B and recruiters, whether it's ideal for your building your employer brand or building your candidate or for lead gen, and what it costs you generally to work on it. And then obviously how you might want to decide whether it's right for you. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. An obsessive focus on marketing and sales is the only way to accelerate your company growth. So listen in now as we share the latest strategies and techniques guaranteed to deliver you more placements and profits. Well, hi there everyone. Hope you and yours are well and enjoying the summer if you're in the UK. It's a bit bonkers at the moment, isn't it, with all the very hot weather and the fires. And we were in France, as I think I mentioned on the podcast a while ago, and it was really hot there. And I'm so glad we went when we did, because unfortunately they are really suffering down there at the moment with all the fires and everything else. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Let's talk about marketing channels. And it's important to look at where we put our message out versus what's going to work best for us. So today I'm going to kick off with Instagram. And if you caught the last podcast, obviously we went through marketing tasks that are well worth doing these over summer, slightly slower weeks where you might finally get a bit of headspace to work on your business and not just in your business. And I know a lot of you will be doing exactly that right now, looking at the rest of the year, wondering where to put your focus. And do you know what comes up every single time when we talk to people about this is channels. Everyone that we talk to, we work with a lot of professional services companies, a lot of technical recruiters, and LinkedIn is obviously their main focus. And they are concerned that they might be losing out by not being on another channel. So let's talk about each of these channels individually and whether they might be something to add into the mix. So let's talk about Instagram, first of all. Do you need to be on Instagram? I like Instagram from a personal point of view. I follow lots of dogs on it. I follow lots of movie stars and find it very amusing. Lots of comedians. So it's that type of platform. Very, I would say, B2C centric. So when it comes to business, is it a waste of time for someone like you? And many people that we talk to, many business owners come to us and they say, everyone tells me I should be on there. But is that even true for recruitment? So, over this series, we're going to answer that properly, channel by channel. And we're starting with Instagram because it is one of those channels that many people personally enjoy being on because it's very visual and we get stimulated. That consumer feel, very lifestyle. And a lot of people wonder, is it worth it? So, let's just start with the numbers and the data because some of it even surprised me. So, in the UK, Instagram has just shy of 40 million users. So that is well over half the population of the UK. And that's the latest data that I could get hold of from someone from a research company called Napoleon Cat back in March. And here's what that means in plain English. It's that huge chunk of the UK population, not half of all social media users, but half of everyone, every age, from the little tiny babies to the grandparents. And I appreciate probably many of our furry friends also have Instagram accounts as well. Now, the US is much the same. And the latest research from Pew Data, very reputable company, shows that about half of all American adults are on Instagram as well. Down in Australia, it's even higher. Almost 7 in 10 adults were using it at the end of last year, and I'm recording this in 2026. So let's put one myth to bed right now. This is not some niche teenage app anymore. Nothing wrong with teenagers. It's properly mainstream in all the three markets that most of you work in. But and this is big. That age demographic matters for recruiters because Instagram is a market where it is that under 29-year-olds who frequent there the majority of the time. If you start looking at people over the age of 60, and that's fewer than 1 in 5, the biggest single group in the UK is that 25 to 34. So that is something that you need to be thinking about. Hold that thought because it's like, who are my ideal clients? Who are my avatars? Because if they are on this platform, that is going to be key for me. So I think the honest verdict around Instagram, particularly in the recruitment sector, is that really this channel is a candidate channel. It's also a place where you can build your brand, both visually and if you're wanting to put the culture of your organization out that maybe some clients can see and candidates can see, and it builds your brand and it shows people what it might be like to work for you. In honesty, what it probably isn't for most of you in the recruitment space, probably a little bit different, say, for people like us who are purely consultants in that type of environment, is it's probably not the place where you're going to win a lot of new clients. So think about that for a second. The people doing the hiring, the recruiting, the ones who sign off your fees, they tend to be more senior and they're far more likely to be over on LinkedIn. That's where they go with their work hat on. The people scrolling on Instagram are much more likely to be your candidates. And they're probably sizing up what it's like to work somewhere long before they ever apply. So if you're thinking about obviously new recruitment consultants for you, or if you're sharing information about the types of companies that you work with, that's where Instagram works really well. Now, if your goal, we're just talking about the demographic here. Obviously, there are niche specific things that I'll come on to. So if your goal is winning new clients, companies that are hiring, hand on heart, Instagram probably isn't where I'd start. LinkedIn is still the channel for that. And we'll get on to LinkedIn in a couple of episodes time. But if you're trying to attract candidates, build a brand that makes people go, oh, they really know the market, I think I want to work with them as my recruiter, then Instagram generally is something to consider. And let's be honest about this. I'd rather you put your time into a channel where it pays off rather than chase a channel because everyone says you should, which tends to happen a lot. And as I just mentioned, a lot of it will come down to your sector. Instagram tends to work best where the work is visual and the candidates are in that demographic. So if you're thinking about hospitality, very visual, menus, restaurants, all of those things, retail, trades, creative and marketing recruitment, or anywhere where you're hiring earlier in people's careers, where you can show people places, a bit of culture, a bit of energy. Where it does struggle really is exec search, senior finance, legal, high level tech, engineering, because your candidates and your clients are in that different age demographic. They're a little bit more senior. And again, they are probably over on LinkedIn. They might just gloss past. They're using Instagram as a place to unwind. So just before you start spending a lot of time, ask yourself honestly, is my candidate pool really the kind of crowd that's on Instagram? If it is, brilliant, keep listening to this podcast and give you some ideas. Quick pause from me before we get back into it. This podcast, as you probably worked out, has no sponsors, has no ads. Nobody pays us to record these episodes. And Sharon and I make it because we love this industry and we want to give something useful back to the people running small recruitment businesses. If you're getting value from this, here's the only thing I'll ask. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Search Denise Oyston. That's Oyston with an O. Hit connect and drop me a quick note and say you found me through the podcast. I read every single message and I reply personally. There's no funnel. There's no pitch. Just a chance to say hello and stay in touch. So, right, let's get back to that conversation. So I think one of the things about this series that we're recording is to give you some information. Think about, okay, so maybe Instagram isn't for us. Let's just go all in on LinkedIn, or let's go all in on YouTube, or whatever that might be for you. So let's just say that Instagram does fit your market. So what works on it? There are a few things, and these don't need you to be a professional content creator. With Superfast Circle, we provide content for our clients, and they don't need to be super duper content creators where they get video scripts, they get all of those things. But I think one of the things with Instagram, and if you go and look at some of the key influencers on there, you'll notice that most people lead with video, particularly reels. The shorter reels work incredibly well. And we notice it ourselves. The short reels go down really well. Instagram is pushing video really hard at the moment, and short, simple videos get far more reach than just a plain photo post. And they don't need to be polished. A quick chat to camera about a role, a bit of advice for candidates, behind the scenes moment. That's plenty. The other thing that worked well is carousels, as carousels do work well on LinkedIn in other places, because they actually stop the scroll, and people, with something like a carousel, people know that there's more pages in that, if you like, there's more pages in that book, and they want to scroll to the end because they know it might be, they see that little sign that says, oh, this is one of 7. So we do live in a swipe society, don't we? Do I swipe left? Do I swipe right? They're brilliant for teaching. It could be anything, the 5 CV or resume mistakes costing you interviews, what it's really like working with us. People save that kind of thing. And on Instagram, one of the features you have is that you can save posts. And that's a real strong signal you can send Instagram that your content is worth showing to more people. The other thing on Insta is stories. So you can use stories to stay in front of mind with people that are already following you. You've got polls, questions, quick updates. It does keep you visible with barely any effort. And the other thing that you can do on Instagram is you can use DMs properly. And as we all know, many recruitment conversations, they start in messages, don't they? As they start in email. And because of the various social platforms that we now have, you can send someone a private message and you can send somebody something. So it makes it easy for people to reach you there, and they can reply like a human being, not a job board. And of course, with Instagram, you can use different software tools. There's a great tool called ManyChat that can automate sending out messages. You can say, you've probably seen on Instagram, people say, oh, if you're interested in this report, just comment X or comment ABC or whatever that might be, or it could be jobs. And what will happen is you can automate all that process by using a software tool. In Instagram, again, you can share a link, but they don't actually appear clickable in your post. So what you need to do is put something in your bio. And there's a lot of free software tools. We use one called Linktree, and it says what it does on the tin. It's like a tree with all your links on. So we have a link to some of our free reports. We have a link to our blog so people can go and watch things and listen to things. So, and I think the key thing about Instagram is that it's one of those platforms, being real people, real placements, real culture. And on Instagram, authentic will be polished every single time. Let's just think about time, effort, and we've talked a lot about the reset tax. So let's just be realistic. To make Instagram work, obviously the LinkedIn algorithm has changed. You don't need to post as much on LinkedIn, which we'll come on to in a couple of weeks' time. But when it comes to Instagram, you're looking at posting a few times a week. And you need to stick at it for a couple of months before you see much back. It's not an instant platform. But let's just be honest, and we're on a mission to make sure people realize this, that when it comes to marketing, good marketing, it doesn't happen immediately. And I feel really strongly about this point that please don't try to do this across every single platform going. I see it all the time. Recruiters get excited. And the reason for creating this series of podcasts and posts is for you to decide, okay, for the next 6 months, I'm going all in on LinkedIn, and I'm going all in on Instagram, I'm going all in on Facebook or WhatsApp, or I'm going to really start YouTube. And it's thinking about how many channels you're going to start throwing yourself at versus how much time you have and the reward you're going to create for you and your company. Because the reality is the last thing you want to do is throw yourself at all of these channels for a few weeks, you run out of steam, and then you stop. And then you start again in a blind panic the moment the pipeline dries up. And all that stopping and starting does cost you. Because every time you disappear for a while, you lose momentum you built. The algorithm notices, stops favouring you, and that warm audience you've gathered up goes a bit cold. So I've talked a lot about the reset tax, so I'm not going to talk about that. Go and have a look on the Superfast blog, because I've recorded a couple of things about that, because it's a real thing at the moment, and it's something that I've noticed with a lot of people. So much better off picking one or two channels generally fit you, showing up like clockwork rather than spreading yourself too thin. Now, does it work? Yes, it works when it fits. There's a recruitment company, I've looked at some data over in Germany. They ran a really simple campaign on Instagram stories, and they have the data that says that they brought their cost per hire down from around 4,500 euros to about 1,300, and that's a serious result. And it didn't come from anything fancy. It came from culture-led content, real people, real workplaces. So how do you decide if it's right for you? A few quick questions. That's it. Number one, is my main goal candidate and brand, or is it clients? If it's clients at this point in time, we're in the second half of the year over in Australia, you're just starting a new financial year, then you need to be thinking about starting with LinkedIn. Is my candidate pool genuinely on Instagram? Does it tend to be in that demographic, that under 35? Please don't shoot me for saying that. I am a woman of a certain age that is definitely over 35, but let's just get real about it. Is it in the visual sector? Is it more senior roles? a niche, then probably not. And number 3, have I got visual content or can I create it? Can I create carousels? We create carousel templates for our Superfast Circle members so they can use that. They've got video scripts they can use. They have content that they can slice and dice and use as videos. If there's nothing to show and no time to make it, though, content is going to be important for you. Your efforts probably better off elsewhere. And I think number 4 is really like, can I commit to being consistent for a couple of months? If the answer's no, don't start. A quick burst followed by silence is probably worse than not doing anything at all. And if you can say, yeah, I can commit to those, then Instagram probably is well worth a proper go. If the answer is no, I can't really, then you've saved yourself quite a lot of time. So that's Instagram. To sum it up, I'm not going into all the tactical bits and pieces about how to post, or it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about how to post on Instagram. It's a mainstream channel now, no question. And it's brilliant for attracting candidates and building your brand in the right sectors. I would honestly say it's far weaker for winning new clients. The trick is be really honest with yourself about whether your market is really there before you pile in. So next time in the series, we're going to stay with the Meta family. We're going to turn it's Instagram's older brother or sister, different crowd. And it's interesting, Facebook. It's one that a lot of recruiters write off far too fast. So look out for the next one of these. It'll probably be dropping next week. And over the coming weeks, by the end of the series, you'll be able to put together that channel fit for you. And if you'd like a hand, if you want to really look at your marketing before the end of the year, Superfast Circle has been totally updated. It's a shorter program now, and you get more one-to-one time with Sharon and I. We really support you through implementation, getting those systems in place, because I think that's been one of the key things that the feedback that we have from people is they don't have the system. Once you've got that system in place, life becomes so much easier. So if you want to find out more, drop us an email, support at, or Denise at, or Sharon at superfastrecruitment.co.uk. I will send you over the details, or you can just go and book a call, superfastrecruitment.co.uk/call, and we'll have a very quick chat with you. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Before we sign off, I want to share something with you. We have completely redesigned Superfast Circle. This is not a refresh. It's not a few new slides. We've rebuilt it from the ground up to be the most commercially focused program we have ever created. And you still get all the content resources, you get all the frameworks, you get all the Canva tools, and you get all the AI prompts. And everything we have built over 18 years of working with exclusively recruitment businesses. But now you also get more one-to-one time with Sharon and I directly. We are in it with you, and we back it with a guarantee. If you are in the program and you've not seen a return on your investment, we'll carry on working with you one-to-one until you do. Now, if you want the details, just email support@superfastrecruitment.co.uk. Tell us you heard this on the podcast, and we'll send you all the details of what's included in the program, the investment, and all of the things that you need. So this is Denise saying bye for now, and I'll see you next time.